All right, so I will call to order the October 20th, 2025 Caroline County Broadband Advisory Committee meeting to order. It's been a while since we've had one of these on Zoom. We've been just doing updates, or David's been doing our updates. So it's kind of nice to have everybody back. We currently, David, do you have the agenda or do we need to show the agenda?
Let me see if I can show it here for a minute.
Everybody
so I get ready for the presentation.
Yeah, everybody should have gotten the agenda. I emailed out to them. While that's coming up, does anybody have any changes to the agenda or amendments to the agenda at this point? All right. Hearing none, we'll move forward with the agenda as it is and move forward. David, do we want to go into old business and review of the VATI projects that have been completed at this point?
Yes, sir. We can do that. Let me start the slide presentation.
And we've got like 12 different slideshows going, so.
All right. Let's see here. Need about 3 more screens on my computer. All right, should be able to see that. Jeff, yeah. Is the formatting okay on that, Jeff? All right, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. If you look at the agenda, it was updates on VATI in Caroline County. So we'll go back to just a little bit prior to VATI 21. We'll skip all the applications. The ones that were successful are the ones that count. We had a couple of that were not successful in between, but so we'll go ahead and kick off the overview of VATI. We do appear to be locked up at the moment. All right, hang on just a second, gentlemen. Let me stop this share. Well, all right, give me just a minute here. Let me see. Don't know if hopefully I won't have to exit completely and reboot my computer, because that's going to be a real trick.
You could make Jason the co-host and then come back in.
All right, so let's see. It's not wanting to, it's just locking up when it comes up, but it's really weird. All right, let's do that. Jason, I'm going to make you the co-host. I'm going to reboot, and I'll be right back.
All right, well, in the meantime, I'm going to jump down to number 3 while we wait for him to reboot his computer and come back. And number 3 on there was update on the Bowling Green Harvest Festival. That was this past Saturday. And it's also the Frog Level Volunteer Fire Department Festival, which is coming up this Saturday. This past Saturday, we had Jason Jacobus, myself, and David were at the tent along with Reggie and from Breezeline. And we had approximately, we didn't sit down and count. David also has some pictures that maybe he'll show when he comes back. But we had about 50 or so people stop by. And when I say people, we'll just say addresses at this point, because there were multiple people that would show up from a family, but there were about 50 addresses that stopped by to get an update on where we were on broadband. The nice part is David had his laptop there, and we were actually able to give people that stopped by their actual GCV number, which is the little polygons that we show on our maps every month or every update that says GCV 27 is going to come online on this date or around approximately this date, or GCV 15, and so forth, so on. So we were able to give people their actual GCV number because we had an updated map and actually had the laptop with us to look up physical addresses. So that way, as people are watching this and they want to take a look at, and really figure out, they don't have to zoom in and say, oh, where am I on this map and so forth, so on. They know what their GCV number is, and they're able to tell exactly where they are in the project and what their tentative dates are and so forth, so on. We also had approximately 5 to 6 addresses that were already ready for sale. So at that point, we were able to direct them over to Reggie at that point from Breezeline, and he was able to sign them up on the spot and set up a preliminary installation date within the next 3 weeks for some of these people. So the excitement that we saw from some of the families that came up, and we were able to give them real timelines. It was no longer pie in the sky, oh, it's coming within the next 3 years when we originally started the project, and we didn't have timelines as close as we do now. But to see some of the excitement on people's faces, that's what it's all about. And the fact that we were able to give them that information, and they were just, thankful for everything that we've done, and thankful for Breezeline being able to bring this and provide this to them. So that was a really good day. We're also going to be at the Frog Level Fire Department Festival this coming Saturday. David will be there, and Jason Jacobus will be there. So they will be able to give you updates at that point. Same thing as at the Harvest Festival. We'll have a TV set up with the presentation going. As far as we know, and the creek doesn't rise, Reggie will be there from Breezeline. So we should be able to go into more detail. And also, hopefully, David will still have his laptop and internet with the ability to be able to look up and give people, based on their addresses, their GCV number. So again, if you're listening to this and you're coming to the Frog Level Festival on Saturday, please stop by the booth, give your address to anybody at the booth. Hopefully we'll be able to look it up for you, give you that information. Plus, Reggie was also writing down people's name, telephone, and email address, so that way he could go in there and associate your telephone number with that address. So that way, when it became available, he had your contact information where he could actually call you and say, hey, you're available for sale now. So people were taking advantage of that too. It was just really good. The weather was beautiful. It's supposed to be beautiful this coming Saturday. So we hope to see, a ton of people out there and getting good information from the booth. David or Jason or anybody else, is there anything anybody would like to add to that?
Nope. That was really good. The issue that I'm having, though, Jason, is that for whatever reason, my PowerPoint is not working.
Is it having trouble downloading the file?
No, I can open the slide up, but I cannot run the slide or advance the slide. So I open it up and start the program, and
say, if you want to shoot it to me, I could potentially try and open it.
It's probably too large. Let me see, though. It is on box. So let me see if I can send you a download link. Give me just a second here.
Jason, this is Floyd. A quick question.
Yes, sir.
Again, the GCV numbers, that was right. George Charlie Victor.
Yes, sir.
That number you got or people got from looking on the county website or a special program that David has?
It's a program that David has. That is it's an overlay of the polygons or the layout for the BreezeLine network that he has loaded into the geospatial software that the county has. And so that way they could actually look up and based on that address, tell you what's your GCV. This isn't that's not anything that's posted out that people could just do whenever they want to. It is David has to be there with his laptop to be able to run that software.
Okay, that was the bottom line suggestion that I was hoping we had that ability yet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I've had like a lot of people say, when am I going to get internet connection? I've been waiting for a while, and we have to call David, and he has to call somebody else, or we call BreezeLine and get the estimated date. Right.
And what I would recommend is anybody that calls and says, "Hey, when am I going to get internet?" I would direct them out to the county website.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the ask a question on the broadband page and have them type that question. Hey, when am I expected to get internet? They can put in their address, and then that email will come to the group, and David can actually look that up just so that way you're not having to call David and this person's calling that one.
Right.
The new updated maps, it gives him the ability to look up that GCV number and get it down to specific addresses of what polygon they're in. And that's what we're basing the dates off, is the different polygons and when BreezeLine said that they're anticipated turn on for sale of that polygon.
Great. And I, like most people, have seen several crews out about throughout the county that are putting down orange fiber. I'm sure that's not all BreezeLine, but it looks like it's coming closer and closer to more people.
Hey, Jason, I just sent you the link to download it.
I've
See if
already
you can get that. But no, Mr. Thomas, it's not a problem at all for me to check those addresses, because this information is changing so fast. In order for us to be able to build a database that would have that data, it would lag way behind what we're getting from BreezeLine. So it's not a problem. Just feel free to reach out to me. And as citizens and all that are watching this presentation, of course, the orange button, you shoot that orange button to me, and the submit your question button, and that'll come to me, and I can look the addresses up. We're trying to get a little more granular as to what we're reporting to the public. So let's go ahead and kick this off, Jason, if you want to go back up to slide 1 and kick it off.
All right.
So back in VADI 21, Caroline County, along with Lancaster, Matthews, Middlesex, with BreezeLine as the partner, applied for a grant, and we received it. This grant allowed service to over 512 previously unserved locations. It consisted of about 50 miles of fiber construction to serve these locations. So if you look at that map, we tried to leave the big towns and locations on the map to help you identify it. But this map, the areas that are highlighted in bright yellow were awarded under VADI 23. And again, that added internet service to 512 homes. So that was back in VADI 21. VADI 23 West was a Caroline County Verizon project. We were successful in the grant. This grant allowed service to over 815 previously unserved locations and consisted of 62 miles of fiber constructed to serve these locations. So you see it's about 111, 115 or so miles of fiber between those two projects. This project completed, and if you're one of the pink dots on that map, you should have service available to you from Verizon. Next slide, please. Now we're looking at VATI 2023 East, a much larger project. We had some questions on Saturday, so I felt that this was important for us to get out there as to why it's taken BreezeLine so much longer than Verizon. So Verizon was 62 miles. It was an 18-month project. The VATI 2023 East, a separate grant. The second one for 23 was a Caroline County BreezeLine grant. Once completed, this project will allow service to over 3,910 previously unserved locations. 439 miles of fiber has to be constructed to serve these locations. So you see the other projects both being about 18-month projects. We're around 50 to 60 miles of fiber constructed, where this one is 439. So it's a much larger project. All the areas that are highlighted on that map are due to be served by this project, and we'll break it down a little bit closer and get into a little more detail now. So next slide. The VATI 2023 East project. So this is a project that we're talking about, the 439-mile project with BreezeLine. So far, the areas that are highlighted in yellow, that's GCR02, GCR03, GCR04, 5, 6, and 7 are now open for sale. So if you live in these areas, and again, we tried to leave the towns on there to help you identify the areas. Again, if there's any question, just hit the orange button on the website and we can confirm. But if you live in these areas, we suggest that you call Reggie Spivey. That's BreezeLine Sales at 410-490-6082. Reggie was with us at the Harvest Festival as Jason Barlow was discussing and was able to answer a lot of questions and help a lot of people. It was a really great day. Next slide, please. So in the VATI 2023 East project, GCR01, so if in the previous map, you noticed that pretty much everything down to Central Point was available for sale down 721. The last area all the way at Central Point is not available as of yet. They are waiting on Rappahannock Electric to provide commercial power to this project. The problem is we don't get a lot of extra help from Rappahannock Electric, and they kind of drop us in the queue with the rest of the customers, just like everyone. So we're talking 4 to 6 weeks for them to get commercial power. So we have people in that area that are waiting 4 to 6 weeks to get connected while Rappahannock Electric works their way to get that power connected. This area should be released shortly. I think we've been waiting now 2 to 3 weeks for commercial power, so hopefully we're close to releasing those. And that'll be from Central Point all the way to the county line and then up north as well. Next slide, please. GCV 11, 13, 14, and 15, if the construction remains on schedule, these areas should all release by the end of this year. So we're only talking about a month and a half, 2 months, 2 months. Yeah, just a little over 2 months. So a lot of areas, additional areas are going to drop. Just know that these meetings that we're having, and I've been doing the broadband updates every month to update you. They're on a regular time schedule. However, when these areas drop, we will break in with a mid-month update, breaking news on YouTube. So if you subscribe to the county website or the county YouTube channel, you'll be notified if we have an update that's dropping out of schedule. Next slide, please. GCV 16 and GCV 10. If these areas stay on schedule, they are projected to release by the end of January. Next slide, please. 8, 9, and 17. These are projected to release by the end of February. Next slide. GCV 12, if this remains on schedule by the end of April, so this is over around McBryant Corner, running all the way over to almost to 207. So that's a huge area there. Next slide, please. 18, 19, and 20. So this is the first time that we've gone north of that 207, 301 line. So we're starting to move into the northern part of the county. These areas, if everything stays on schedule and Rappahannock Electric can help us out with some pole make ready work on time, we should be released by the end of 2026, June of 2026. Just know these are projected dates. They could move forward. They could move backwards. If your area drops ahead of what we've discussed tonight, of course, we'll notify you right away. Next slide, please. Between June of 2026 and October of 2026, the remaining areas are currently projected to be completed. And the next slide.
And the one thing I would point out is, David, sorry to break in, but if you notice, that's between June and October of 2026. So, you know, that is projected to be next year. This time is the, unless things move, that's when that's projected.
So with the VATI projects, Caroline County, Verizon, Breezeline, and the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development have now expanded service to over 2,048 previously unserved locations. This slide has been shown probably in, 6 or 7 different presentations, Jason, in the last month. But the number I continue to bump up live. So the 2,048 was as of today at lunchtime. So the number is continuing to grow, and what seemed like a slow start is starting to show that, you know, the numbers are really growing quickly now. Next slide, please. Again, if you need more information, you can go to the Caroline County website, click on the Broadband tab, and from there, submit your question with that orange button, and that's the best way to get up-to-date information. Next slide. Again, Jason talked about this a little bit, but we would like to thank all the county residents. And we had a steady stream of residents in the tent all day until right at the end. Thank you to all those residents that stopped by and asked questions, gave us encouragement. I think Jason and myself both were excited to see the excitement that the public is starting to get, especially the ones that came by and said that, you know, hey, I got a connection and it's great. So that's what we're, that means a lot to us. That's the purpose, to get that service to people who have never had service before. So again, thank you all for stopping by and letting us know how things were going or asking questions. The gentleman there in the picture is Reggie Spivey for Breezeline. He was on site with his laptop connected directly into the system, so he was able to answer questions, sign people up, correct some problems. Because again, I was kind of surprised to see that a number of people that had moved into the area with a house, an existing house that was already constructed, living in areas that were already served by one of the companies, had no idea who served that area. So we were able to address some of that and you know, discuss the entire process of where we're going with these projects. Next slide, please. And just a reminder, we will be at the Frog Level Fall Festival and Parade. That's this coming Saturday from 8 to 2. All right, Jason, if you, I've got another small presentation that will run next, but we'll see if that'll run. If not, I may have sent that one to you as well.
Okay.
So let me try to bring that one up. We'll see if that one does any better. Okay, that one runs just fine. So it was evidently it was something in the other slide presentation that it did not like.
Don't feel bad. I downloaded it to my computer and it won't run either.
So let's see. If you could let me share there, Jason, we'll go ahead and kick off.
Let's see. Oh, there it is.
And we're about to find out whether it's something to do with the way it interacts with Zoom, but we'll find out.
I clicked on allow. Did you get it?
All right. Let me see here. And again, it's doing the same thing. Let me try one more thing here.
It worked if it wasn't full screen.
All right, let's do it that way then. All right, so we'll just start out. I'll just read through this one because it's not a lot of graphics or anything involved. So, Nick, can you see that one? I mean, can you see it that way?
I can see it, but it's gone away now.
It was there. It's like you stopped sharing it.
All right. Just sweat the rug. All right, we'll just go ahead and read through it. So in the agenda, we talked about the BEAD and what it means to Caroline County. So we'll discuss that in just a minute. BEAD stands for the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. About $42 billion in federal funding was allocated to states across the country. This was funded by the Infrastructure and Investment Acts of 2021. Nearly 5 years later, so this is going on, next year, in a few months here, it'll be 5 years that this process has been going on. Not a single household anywhere in the United States has been funded by this program as of yet. There's not a single new connection. A lot of work has been done. Unfortunately, it's been done at the federal speed, but by the fact that no connections have been funded as of yet. But what has been done, a lot of time and effort was put into identifying the unserved locations across the country. So if the federal government was going to allocate money to serve the unserved, they had to have a map to be used. So they decided on the FCC map, and it was a map with a lot of problems. So back and forth between the states and the federal government, there were corrections made to some of the addresses that were identified in that map. And there's still, even, several years later, there's still some issues. But so then after the locations, the unserved locations were identified, planning by the states and territories for how the unserved could be served started. So the states started developing plans to serve the unserved addresses that were identified by the BEAD program. Once the state came up with their plan and submitted it to the federal government, it was pending approval, but then we had a change in presidential administration. More changes were made to the program, and again, progress ground to a halt as states had to go back and make changes to their plans to comply with the new administration. BEAD awarded and allocated $1.48 billion to the state of Virginia. So out of that $42 billion nationwide, Virginia got a good share of it. Virginia has submitted plans to serve remaining unserved locations. And now we wait. what does this mean for Caroline County? So Caroline County, working with the limited data that we had, we identified unserved locations across the county. We also manually worked to verify those locations, nearly 5,000 locations, as closely and as accurately as possible. Even with our best efforts and my best efforts, 2 small pockets were missed. There was an area of Charlesburg Road and Partlow Road. These addresses were missed because they were incorrectly identified by a provider as having service. And so that by them saying that they serve those addresses, that disqualified them automatically from VATI 2023 West. So that's the reason why they did not get added into that grant. These addresses were, however, picked up in the BEAD process, and so DHCD has submitted plans to cover service to these locations. A local internet service provider, iWisp, has been identified and was chosen by DHCD to provide the symmetrical fiber connections to these locations. Now, I've had a few people in that area know iWisp because they were a fixed wireless provider. However, they've now switched service, and the new service that they're offering is a symmetrical fiber connection. They have customers that they already serve by this. It's a direct connection back to a data center. So it is working well and performing well, and customers that I've talked with in the area are very satisfied with that service. So that's the state's recommendation to the federal government as to who would serve that pocket. So once this is approved by the U.S. Department of Commerce, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, or NTIA, once it's approved, this project can begin. We mentioned that there were 2 pockets. The other pocket is a pocket of homes in the Caroline East area. It's about 75 homes. That number is kind of large, but most of them are down a single street. So the houses are on Wrightsville Road, Moots Mill Road, Maple Lane, and Eastern Chase Street, where these houses were missed. And that was because of some confusion about existing plant is the reason why they got missed. These houses were also identified by the BEAD program. So the state map did pick it up that there was a pocket there that was missed. DHCD is now seeking approval from NTIA to serve these locations with Starlink as that provider. Now, I mentioned that the federal government had to go back or the state had to go back and change their submission. When the new administration came in, that administration wanted to include low Earth satellite as one of the providers. So the state picked some areas and worked in Starlink as a provider. And unfortunately, that area over there was chosen to go with Starlink. Now, if you remember, Starlink was previously identified by this committee as a short-term solution for persons needing immediate service. So if you live in one of those VATI areas and you had fiber, symmetrical fiber coming, but you had to have service before the date that it's going to be ready to be delivered, Starlink was an option that we recommended. However, in that situation, the service would eventually be replaced by fiber in nearly all locations. Now, with this being a recommendation from BEAD, there would be no long-term fiber solution to back that up. Starlink does not meet the recommendations of this committee for a permanent solution. Both the strategic plan and the plan for universal coverage recommends fiber to the home as the preferred solution. So we have met with BreezeLine and identified the addresses that are needing service that are currently slated to be served by Starlink. BreezeLine has received that information and they're working through to see if they can come up with a solution. Currently, due to the higher than expected cost of pole attachments, The funds do not exist in the current project to rescope it. In other words, if the project that we were building was coming in at or below what was budgeted, then we could have rescoped and added those 65 to the existing project without an issue. But because so many pole attachments are coming in at 40% higher than the same poles in King William County by Dominion, because the funds are so much higher, then there's no money there to rescope. So that's kind of where we're at. We're not sure exactly what solution that we're going to get back from Breezeline once they're able to consider the solutions. So that being said, I would like to make a motion, Jason.
Okay.
I move that this committee recommend the Board of Supervisors authorize us to develop and present a proposed solution for those 75 remaining homes east of Route 301, consistent with the county's plan for universal coverage. So what I'm asking is that we just make sure that the board is interested in us looking at a more equitable solution for those houses, and if so, authorize us to do some digging and figure out a solution for those 75 homes. That we would then go back to them with our recommendation. As an advisory committee, we can't really take any action. So,
right.
That's my motion.
So, with the motion on the floor, is there any discussion on this motion? All right. Not hearing any discussion. Does anybody want to second that motion?
I second.
Okay. All right. We have a motion on the floor, properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, David, the ayes have it. Your motion carries.
All right, so that would just speed things up, because just know that there is, and Jason Barlow and myself met with Chandler Vaughn with the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. There does appear that there's going to be a VADI 25 project that generally gets announced here at the end of 25 in either December or January, I believe he said. So we're watching for that to come out. That would be one possible solution. It may involve us having to go out and get a RFP for a partner if Breezeline doesn't choose to expand under their current current franchise agreement. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's the reason why we wanted to bring that motion up, and we felt like we should get together as a group and discuss it. That kind of speeds things up, so we know, we'll go to the board, get their opinion whether we do need to work on this. I feel that we probably will get that, but we'll know for sure once that goes to the board for their consideration, and then we'll begin to work on that. All right. Anything else? Any other discussion or questions about anything that I brought up tonight? With the quick overview of VADI projects, as well as just an overview of the BEAD process. All right, Jason.
Okay. Well, hearing nothing else, David, I know in the agenda, we talked about the regular videos that we're going to have as far as, keeping everybody up to date, and not necessarily calling the whole committee together every single month. Do we need a motion to just go ahead and say that we will call the committee together whenever we need to do business? But other than that, we will continue to do the YouTube updates just so that way we can formally say that and kind of adjust our timing. Does that work?
And it may be just as easy or effective, Jason, if we just go ahead and announce that our next meeting will be on the 17th of November. And if we have business that we have to discuss, and it may very well be, then we'll call a regular meeting. If not, we'll give an update. And then if we have updates drop prior to that, we'll release them right away.
Okay.
I would say that based on this action, Mr. Thomas, when is the next Board of Supervisors meeting?
The next board meeting is November 14th, I believe. It's the Thursday.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe the 13th.
13th, yes.
So I think we should probably plan on a regular meeting on the 17th, Jason. That way, if we're able to get it before the board for their consideration and they have something back for us, we would be able to discuss it on the 17th.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't happen, we'll send out notices and let everybody know that it'll be an update. But either way, we just want the general public to know that we're not going to hold back any information that we have. If areas drop, we're going to let you know as soon as we can. And we'll plan on the 17th as a meeting.
Well, and I just want to recognize David Sadler for taking time and doing those videos, because it's something that he has been doing quite a bit, making those videos and keeping everybody up to date. So, David, I'd like to recognize you and thank you for doing that.
Yep. Yeah, and again, gentlemen, just know that I'm doing that because I know you guys have been here since the early days of VADI projects, and we appreciate everything you're doing. So if we can free up time for you and your families, that's what we've been doing, and we'll just drop those updates and move on. But occasionally we will have something that we do need to consider, like what we did tonight and what we'll probably have in the next few meetings. So while we have tried to avoid having unnecessary meetings, we may need to have more frequent meetings for the next several months. All right, Jason, that's it.
With no other, does anybody else have any other business they'd like to discuss or anything they want to talk about? All right, hearing none. Does anybody want to make a motion for adjourn?
I second.
All right, we got a motion properly second. I guess anybody that wants to stay can stay. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next month on the 17th.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
See you later. Bye.